and welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of Ian's Leek Stereo 20 business. This is the Varislope 2 stereo preamp that couples up with his Stereo 20 that had the duff valve in it. So yeah, let's get into the repair. Right, so quick bit of information about the Leek 20. Do you remember last time I got awfully confused about which channel I was working on? And here's why. So I've orientated the amplifier towards me there, so you can see left and right there. Well, the left side of the amplifier is obviously on the left here. The right hand side is obviously on the right here, except right hand side, right hand side, right hand side, right hand side. I don't know if you can see that. Is that going to focus? But that's the left speaker output. So they're reversed. Okay, so this is the Varislope 2 stereo preamplifier. It has an umbilical sort of cord with octal plug and socket on each end, and that's because it gets its power from the power supply in the Stereo 20 power amplifier. So we need to hook up this octal plug there. That takes the HT and the audio from the front of the Stereo 20 here. So plugs are keyed. Oh, quite a good fit, that's good. This is the switch wire that previously we shorted out on the Stereo 20 when we were working on its own. Yeah, so I think before I apply power, actually, I just want to take the covers off this and have a general inspection. So the dreaded slotted screws again. One rogue Phillips screw. They're often missing. Okay, nothing untoward. Fitted with these RS caps. Oh, this is one I've done before, look. More modern replacement electrolytics. But this had obviously been renovated previously because they had the nasty capacitors replaced with these RS ones, which are generally still, to this day, very, very reliable, despite being a few years old now. I wonder what they're dated. Let me just have a little look. 1979. So yeah, getting on now. There we are. Right, so let's rig ourselves up a signal source and see what the fault is. We've got a little audio coming in here from my signal generator. So that is currently going into the tuner sockets here. We also have a separate level control for each input, which is rather sweet. Rather necessary back in the day before things were sort of standardized. So on the front panel here, we'll need that set to tuner. Filters off, bass and treble sort of thereabouts. We're in stereo, tape monitors off. Slope is set to, we can have steep or gradual. That's why it's called Varislope. Balance is in the middle. Filters off, like I said. So let's switch on and see what happens. Now the switch circuit completes the circuit to the primary of the power amplifier. And I notice we don't have an illumination lamp. Just here, you can see there's a tiny lamp there that's not lit up. It may well have failed. However, we're not getting any warmth here. So I think the first thing we need to check is the sort of switch circuit here and see what's going on with that. Right, let's have a quick look at the schematic. Okay, here's the schematic for half of our Leek Varislope 2. Only the right hand channel is shown, the left hand channel is identical. So yeah, it's quite a straightforward thing. There are two EF86 pentode gain stages. And at the moment, we're not really interested in those because we can't even get any power to it. So we're interested in our octal socket over here. So this is the from amplifier socket. Pin 1, output from the left channel. So the output from our left side of this circuit diagram, which isn't shown, is going here. 8 is ground. 7, there's our right output. 6, that's our HT feed. So it's 195 volts, and that comes from the power supply in the stereo 20, part of the preamp power supply, so it's well filtered by the time it gets here. There's an 8 mic cap. I should think that's probably a 10 mic now, since we rebuilt it, and a 47k resistor there. Pins 5 and 4 are is the 6.3 volt heater supply, and that's where our panel lamp is. So we need to check whether we've got any heater supply. Don't think we have, because nothing's warming up. Our HT feed, and that obviously feeds the right hand channel here, 135 volts by the time it's been across this filter network, R33 and C21. And that feeds the left hand channel as well. So here's our switch socket. So this just has the switch on the volume control straight across those 2 pins, and then that completes the circuit on the other end, which is the amplifier. Now we know the amplifier works because we've shorted this out directly on the amplifier, not to saying the wiring in the lead may be faulty, or even the HT wiring and the LT wiring in the umbilical. So that's the first place to check. Right, the first thing to check therefore is that we've got continuity across our switch connector. I'm just going to disconnect it. Oh, it's disconnected from the mains already, but I'm just going to disconnect the switch. So there we are. Obviously at the moment it should be open circuit. What's the best way to get in on there? There. And then it should go short when we do it, and it does. This is going to be the world's simplest fault, isn't it? This is going to be open circuit inside the switch plug somewhere. Oh, and the problem with that is, of course, I've mounted the amplifier back on its baseboard now, so if it's faults at that end, I'm going to be somewhat stumped. Let's hope it's at this end. Right, smaller screwdriver, check the wiring. Let's do that where you can see me. Oh. Untangle that. There. So, undo the plug. It's a 2-pin Bakelite made in England. I should think it's a Bulgin or something. Oh, well, they're soldered on. How can that be anything other than right? Okay. Horribly non-compliant with any modern standard, I would have thought. But anyway, good enough in the day. So that points me back to measuring it at the amplifier, doesn't it? Which is a real pain because I've got to unscrew it from its baseboard again. Ah, well. Let's put the plug back together. I suspect I'm going to want to take that apart in a minute anyway. Any other method I can use for checking the thing? Switch. So one side of this should be tied to either live or neutral on the mains plug. Let's just prove the point. Okay. Oh. So that is 0.6 of an ohm. Well, and that's 0.00 of an ohm. So yes, that's measuring the primary of the transformer. So you'd expect that to work. Did I have my power supply connected correctly? Let me just do a sanity check. Of course, the results will reveal all. Power is on. Oh, we just consumed a little gob of current. Wait a minute. I have the light lit. Can you see that? Our little pilot lamp is now lit. Has it just put itself right? Can I see any heaters? Oh, I can. We have heaters. Oh. Okay. However, I've only got one channel. So as I move the balance across, yep. So I've only got the left channel. Right. So it's going to be out with the scope and trace it through. Let me just... Or have we just got a noisy switch? Let's go to mono. Doesn't appear to be making any difference at all. Not so good. Could it be a dodgy tape monitor switch? That doesn't feel very good in there. I think that's our next port of call, is to give all those switches a little birthday with some service on. Okay. Oh, a tin of service on. That tape monitor switch doesn't feel like it's clicking very nicely. So let's get in there with a bit of magic. Oh, it instantly feels much more pleasant. And yeah, this stereo mono switch wasn't very happy either. So let's squirt in that, work it back and forward a few times. It's got much more of a positive motion about it now. Okay, let's just wipe up that excess. Right, that's just the detritus on my desk, I think. Okay, let's power up again. No, we're still down on one side. Oh, I'm still not happy with this tape switch. Ah, there is the fault. We've got both channels are now functioning. It is this tape switch. Oh, it's awfully scratchy. My biggest problem is going to be finding a replacement. Right, let's give that some further inspection. Okay, what we're going to have to do is actually remove the back of this switch. No amount of cleaning is bringing it back to life. So what I'm going to attempt to do is remove these tangs here and gently liberate the back of it so we can get in there and possibly retension any of the little contacts in there. If not, we may have to live without it, which is a great shame. Obviously it's essential for tape operation, but I do happen to know that Ian has two of these preamps, so yeah. Well, let's see if we can't effect a repair first. So let's get into it. Right, I'm just going to disconnect everything just to make my life a little easier for the moment. Okay, give myself a bit of room. And sort of prop that up like that. You're not going to be able to see much on the top camera, are you? Still, we sort of need a little pick tool. Now I do have some, very rarely used, so you can guarantee they'll be at the absolute bottom of my basket of tools. Oh, there it is. There's one. Oh, yeah, that's you can see that sort of thing there. Let's see if we can't just unfold this piece of metal. The trouble is, this was probably bent over in the 50s or 60s, so it's been there a while. Oh, it's coming. Give me a bit more light. Let's put that in. Okay, there's one. Not quite sure if I need to do all four, to be honest. I may just get away with two and then sort of hinge it apart. We're about to find out. Oh. Ooh. I don't really want to have to take the switch out. If I do, I have to take all the front panel apart, remove the front panel. It's just, you know, it's a job, but it's not the end of the world. And I have to drill the rivets out. I just had a look in my collection of spare switches, and I don't really have anything like it. But we know a man who does have a lot of leak spare parts. And in fact, last time I did a stereo 30 plus, I needed a new on-off volume pot, and he had one. Right, I'm just going to see if I can ease that out from there. Oh, yeah, that's not feeling great, actually. I think I will just undo the tangs from the top as well here. Oh, come on, out she comes. You know, back in the day, of course, nobody in their right mind would have done this. You'd have just replaced the switch and that would have been it. And of course, you could get a switch from Messrs. A Leak, etc. But I suspect the name still belongs to somebody. Right. So, can I now extract that? Or will it all go for tang and end up in tears? No, look at that. There's our switch contacts. Let me see if we can get some decent shots from the top camera. We want to go zoom in. Ooh. There we are. Bit more. We go left a bit. There we are. So you can see our changeover contacts there. So we've got 6 metal contacts of some description. And the other bit that you can't really see is the contacts inside the switch. Where are we? Yeah, you can't really see those. And to be honest, right at the minute, neither can I. But, ooh, there's a lot of green nastiness in there. Ah, this part pops out. That's handy. Okay, so we can take this out. Is there enough wiggle room? So just pop that out. Come on. Yes. Lovely. Okay. Let's get a pair of pliers. Just grab hold of the lever and remove it. Come on. What does worry me is I think that back plate with the contacts on it actually looks slightly curved. And if that's the case, we are going to struggle. Oops. Drop the soldering iron. Thankfully it's not on. Right, there are our contacts. And yeah, there's all sorts of unpleasantness going on in there. So we should be able to clean that up. We should be able to clean that up and put it all back together. Right. Try the gentle approach before we go any further. Let's zoom back out again. There we are. So I'm just going to get the lever, a little bit of contact cleaner on my bit of paper towel, and yeah, you can see the muck coming out of there. So, okay. Does look quite good, really. Yeah, it's quite shiny. There's still some tarnish on there. Yeah. Starting to get better. I think we need something, maybe a touch abrasive would help. So, yeah, what have I got? I know. A bit of little red Scotch-Brite pad that I use for cleaning PCBs would be ideal. I shall look up here in the abrasives department. Here we are. Let's give it a little buff up on that. I want these terminals gleaming. Give them every chance. Certainly a large amount of sort of tarnish in the middle of them. It's getting this small enough to do the job, really. Oh yeah, we're getting there now. That's much better. It's the problem with these sort of open, exposed switches. Mind you, at least you can sort of take them apart because they're exposed at each end. At least you can take them apart and make a job of cleaning them. If it's all sealed up, you've had it, haven't you, really? This pad in the middle, so there's the switch. This pad in the middle here is actually rubber. I wonder if it's lost its spring, hence these aren't quite as springy as they could be. Oh, yes, look, we can disassemble further. So that's one of my contacts. There's my other contact. And there you can see the rubber pad is quite deformed. So you can see that on the camera up there. Let's zoom in again. So you can see there. Oh, excuse me. You can see there the rubber pad just here and here sort of got spongy. Look, I can pop holes in it. It's gone like a Lenco V block and lost all its rubberness. Let's pull that out. Yeah, that's interesting. There we go. So it is. Oh, it's a piece of like U-shaped channel. Let's see if we can focus in on that. Yeah, it's like a U shape, but it's gone all chewy and horrible. Let me see if we can't find something to replace that. I bet that's gone soft and the contacts aren't pushing up against the these pieces properly. Right, let's make something that looks like that. Do you know what that looks like? That looks like a piece of PVC twin core wire insulation. I wonder if that would do the job, cut to the right dimensions. Let's have a go at it, because I think down here I've got some. Oh, two core. Yep, there we are. Is that about the same dimension? Well, it is, you know. Let's cut ourselves a piece of that, stick that in the hole and see if that restores operation. Okay. About there, I would say. Oh, you can't see. Let me move the camera again. One moment. Oh, there. Okay. Right, so what we got? We've got our two contacts here. That's the underside. You can see there's still a dirty, great big blob in the middle. This is the original rubber. And this is some of my flex, look. I reckon that's PVC insulation on there, right? That's about the right shape and size. So let's cut that. Yeah. Cut it slightly oversize. And I can trim it down to fit. Right, okay. Yeah, there's that. Let's pull the conductors out. I don't want those. Throw those on the floor. I'll rattle up the hoover later. And right, okay. Yeah, it's pretty close on size, isn't it? Pity it's not slightly thicker. But let's try it anyway. Let me just trim that length there to size a little bit. That's it. Ooh. You can't see what I'm doing again, can you? I keep working towards the edge of the bench. I'm running out of bench. There you go. So that's our bit of insulation there. That's our original rubber piece. I don't know. Might be a little bit thin, but we can always make it fatter. So there it is in the middle of the switch again. I'm just going to buff those up to perfection. Zoom out. Ooh. There you go. Try and follow what I'm doing. Let's just clean the contacts again. A final buff up. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That's good. Let's do the other one. Slot these back into position. I'm going to need my seeing eyes magnifiers. That's it. Let's get each one of those. Pop it back into the switch carrier. Oh, I tell you what, that's looking good. Oh, all the way up. Might be interesting trying to reassemble it without it all falling to pieces. Yeah, no, that looks good. Feels good too. It's got some spring in the contacts again. Okay, right, so put that in there for a moment whilst I prepare this side of the switch. So, just going to get a little more Varislope on my paper towel. Give these contacts a nice clean. Lots of unpleasantness. Yeah, no, cleaning nicely. I think it's sort of remnants of a little bit of grease and some rubber that's sort of degraded inside that switch over the years. Which bit was I just using? Yeah, okay. That would seem better than reasonable. So, now to get the switch back into position without it all falling to pieces. This is going to be a challenge and undoubtedly very frustrating. So, contact's fallen out already, look. Okay. Let us slip the contacts back in. Oh, it's tight. Oh, it's really tight. Come on. Oh, so very near. Oh, it's tricky. It's gone in cockeyed, that's the problem with it. Come on. One of the, oh, both contacts have just fallen out. What I should have done is put the plastic assembly in first and then gone for the contacts afterwards, I think, which would have been the more sensible option. But that's all right, we can go with it. What I really want are my tweezers, which are eluding me. They're normally in here. Is that them? Nope. Ah, staring me in the face. They are exactly where they were supposed to be. Right, so one contact there. Very difficult to show this on camera, unfortunately. You'll just have to bear with me for a moment. So that's one contact in place. There, great. The other one's come out this side, so I'll just pick him up again. Pop that into place. Now to just make sure it's all seated. Yep, that's looking somewhere near. Oh, ah. Yep, it's going to end in a lot of frustration, this. Still, it'll probably be the third or fourth attempt. It'll all just fall into place and we all live happily ever after. That's what I'm hoping. Ooh. Yep, that's good. Okay, now all we've got to do is get the cap on without dislodging anything and make sure it all goes down properly and tight. Oh, that was remarkably easy. Let me just check it works. Feels okay. Need the pliers, need the pliers. There they are. Okay, I'm going to just bend the little tangs back over. Just to hold it in place for now, and then we can tighten it up in a moment. Yeah, okay, that's coming together. I'm going to reverse the plan, do it from this side. Can't get in there to sort of squeeze it, so it is a little bit tricky. There it goes. Okay, same the other side. Oh, that's looking very good. Just tighten up this side a little. It's where I need 3 cameras, isn't it, on this end of the studio? One there, and then one to the right of me. More expense. Okay. Right. Or even a head cam. Something like that. The trouble is, with my tremor, you'd all get seasick watching it. There we go. Wow, let's see what that feels like. Okay. Feels okay. Does it work? That's the main question. Plug the umbilical back in. Put some audio in. Switch lead. Apply a bit of mains. There we go. Is it going to work? Oh, fingers crossed while the valve's warm. Oh. It's perfection. Fabulous. What a super job. That is really, really good. So, yeah, both channels working. Okay, so let's play a bit of music through it, shall we? That's it. All sorted and sounding great in stereo. So that completes this repair. I'll just check through the other inputs off camera. I don't suspect there'll be any further problems. So thanks for watching, and yeah, like, subscribe, and ring the bell thing, and leave some comments down below if you'd like to. Visit the website at andydoz.blogspot.com, and you'll find a link to Discord there too if you want to join in the chat. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.